Another stranger passing through Riverwood. Off on... Fair enough. But if you're seeking excitement and riches, this ain't the place, I'm afraid. Riverwood does have its charms, but I imagine they're not quite what you're looking for. Ah, yes. Worried faces have been rushing by, with hushed whispers of another catastrophe on the horizon. Old Hilda says she even saw a dragon. Strange days indeed, but the world will sort itself out in the end. It always does. Of course, safe travels to you, wherever they may lead. What brings you to Riverwood? What brings you to Riverwood?
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Hello. Goodbye.
Be careful.
An inn. Where are we sleeping? And more importantly, what are we eating?
Greetings to you.
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. Let's sate that appetite, hmm? Take a look. Until next time.
Greetings to you.
Be careful.
What brings you to Riverwood? Ah, another traveler. What brings you to Riverwood? Riverwood does have its charms. We all have our burdens to bear, I suppose. If you wish, keep on moving. Lucan or Delphine can... Here's the same as anywhere else, I suppose. The Riverwood type? It's okay, stranger. I know what you mean. You're correct. I am no farmhand or errand boy. I am... or was, a soldier. But that life is behind me now. I've taken a few beatings in my time. You've got a good sense for it, that's for sure. I can tell you, if you'd like. But let's get somewhere more comfortable first. Come, follow me. I do apologize for the pace. My leg isn't quite what it used to be.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. What are you doing that for? We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
For the age of aggression is just... Bow done. We'll drive out the storm cloaks and restore what we own.
What are you doing that for?
And our steel we will take back our home. down.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Fair enough. Riverwood does have its charms, but we all have our burdens to bear, I suppose. If you wish, keep on moving. Lucan or Delphine can help you prepare for the road. Here's the same as anywhere else, I suppose. Why not? The Riverwood type? It's okay, stranger. I know what you mean. You're correct. I am no farmhand or errand boy. I am, or was, a soldier. But that life is behind me now. I've taken a few beatings in my time. You've got a good sense for it, that's for sure. I can tell you, if you'd like. But let's get somewhere more comfortable first. Come, follow me. I do apologize for the pace. My leg isn't quite what it used to be. There we go. Let's make this. The Dominion pays well, of that I have no doubt. But even a cripple can still hold a blade. Mercenaries come in many guises, so you'll have to forgive me for not taking you at your word. How much did they pay you, Your weight in jewels? The promise of an emissary's position? You're an idiot if you think the Dominion keeps its word. Until I see evidence to the contrary, I have no reason to believe you. Riverwood is a quiet town. Good people here. And I won't let you change that. Maybe so. But why did you approach me in the first place? I have no errands for you to run, no gold to spare. The only thing I have in abundance now is time. Very well. You seem honest enough. Let's sit down first. Then you can ask me whatever you'd like. My leg has started cramping again, as it is. I hope you'll not begrudge a veteran for being careful. But it pays to look out for one's enemies, no matter how long it's been. Off on a new adventure, Fair. Riverwood does have its charm. We all have our burdens to bear. Here's the same as anywhere else. You're correct. I am no... You've got to... Come, follow me. There. Let's make this. The Dominion pays well. Of that I have. You're an idiot if you think the Dominion keeps its word. Until I see. The. Let's sit down first. Then you can ask me whatever you'd like. My leg has started cramping again, as it is. I hope you'll not begrudge it. No. If this. Even a sleepy village like. The better question is, what didn't we do? I'm from a small hamlet on the edge of Alakir. Conditions could be worse than Morrowinds at times, but it was honest, and life made sense. But there's too much bad blood there now, too many bad memories. Not just me, but for us all. The Dominion, of course. I was still half a boy at that age. Bull-headed, rash. But I wanted to make a difference. Help the fight against elven supremacy. Falmor forces were already in Hammerfell before the Great War had officially started. So I began working with a local band across the Alakir. Must have been quite a shock to the elves. To come from lush grasslands and comfort to nothing but desolate wastes as far as the eye can see. Lutes and poetry weren't going to be much help there. There's an old saying that the sands swallow all. We'd use the storms to cover our approach, and strike quickly before they had a chance to react. Most of us were just pulled from local settlements. Men and women that had been thrown into warfare with only basic martial training. But we made it work. Fought as hard as anything to keep our home. For a time, we had some close calls, and magic is always an unknown in combat. But we fought hard, won a few victories, even joined a battle near the entrance of Montelion. That was chaos if I ever saw it. Soon enough, the locals who had barely learned to hold the right end of a blade were veterans, forged through blood and war. Magic is useful enough in a support role, healing or clearing rubble, but it's wild. One wrong move, one poorly timed shot, and that advantage is wasted. And no amount of spells can stop a sword to the belly. Perhaps I'm just traditional, but I'll take a saber in hand over a spell any day. Good soldiers are worth their weight in gold. Soon enough, we went our separate ways, summoned off to different patrols. The war was gripping all of Tamriel by this point, and even the nobles understood that we couldn't be getting much help from the outside. I had taken a poison arrow during one of the last night raids, and was recovering in Sentinel. A short respite from battle, but a welcomed one. As any soldier can tell you, you take whatever sleep you can get. A lot of wounded in the city, but the guard kept it together, and the Dominion off our backs. No. In fact, it was quite the opposite. While recovering and visiting some friends, I was approached by one of the forebears. The siege had recently been broken, and finally it seemed like the two were going to get their heads out of the sand. She was old blood, respected in the city, and as a joint effort with the Crowns, they organized a war band. By Satakal, it seemed someone got the idea that I should be picked to lead them. It was. Something like that doesn't come around every day. Strictly need to know, armed with the best gear Hammerfell gold could buy, to strike fear in any who dared to cross into our lands. Of course, I may have been injured, but those few weeks hadn't made me go soft. I was eager to get back into the field. We shook hands, and the next day I went to meet them. My people. We met in an old ruin beneath the city. Only a few guards on hand. Introductions were made, plans laid out, and we toasted, even as Dominion spells pummeled the gates outside. As for my fellows, well, I could tell we were going to get along just fine. We headed out next morning. Some of the finest men and women I've ever known. War has a tendency to make or break a person, but these ones... I don't know if you fought in a war, traveler. Real war. But if you're lucky, every once in a while, you'll come into contact with someone who just has it. Skill, luck, bit of the gods on their side. I don't know, but each and every one of them was like fury itself in battle. We were the very best Hammerfell had to offer, and we were going to make Thalmor pay their tribute in blood. Our frontal team was led by an enormous Pomarat, gold flecks tinting a mane that had been decades in the making. From what I've heard, they're a rare sight outside of the Khajiit's homeland, but if you saw him fight, you'd understand why I was glad to have him on our side. A lot of great warriors out there, but few would dare risk locking blades with someone like him. More than once, he'd lean forward and sink his fangs into the enemy's face. Rip their throat out, even. The Thalmor never saw it coming. Outside of battle, though, Saja was a quiet one. He was content to keep watch while the rest of us slept, meditating under the moons. Alongside Saja and I, there was an old man, Arlund, disgraced son of one of the minor houses, or some such thing. It didn't seem to matter to him, of course, and certainly not us, but by the sands could that man fight. The art has been lost to history for as long as anyone can remember, but he captured even the smallest fragment of what the Arnshai once were. Sword singers. Never seen anyone before or since handle a blade quite like he could. The damn fool could be grouchy, and wave take you if you interrupted his battle preparations. But he was a dear friend. Not content to live out his days in bed, he fought to the last. With the three of us diving into the thick of it, we had support from all sides to protect our flank. First was the Bosmer, Nilus. I've never been... He was small, but he could use that to his advantage. Dropping down before a patrol even had a chance. Before he'd even touched the ground, 3 arrows would find their mark. But he was always disappointed it couldn't be 4. A bit mad. He loved taking scalps wherever he could, but he moved like water and saved our hides on more than one occasion. Next was Kara, Altimer battle mage. Yes, surprising, no? Fate must have had a sense of humor, sending someone of that caliber into the arms of the Resistance. She could tear any of her kin apart with a spell, and took pleasure in it too. Kara never told us what had brought her from Alinor, but then again, we never asked. She was a firebrand, all right, and gods protect you if you said anything about her heritage or homeland. Of course. She made her allegiance clear from the moment we met, and we never had any reason to doubt her. It was always very matter-of-fact with her. Anything that needed to be done, got done. She'd crawl out of oblivion itself if it'd get her home back. There was Sunvar. I suppose you'd call him our healer. Sure. Finally, there was Tanwin. We were a family. Any command madness had brought us together, but they were all good people. Honest. I've been fortunate to fight alongside people I'd gladly die for. Even more so, to have walked away. It was simple, really. Disrupt Dominion activities wherever we could. At first it was mostly helping protect the roads or the... As the war progressed, we were given more specific tasks. Sabotage and the like. Extinguishing fires, slitting throats as the Thalmor slept, and disappear before the first light. Soon enough, a bit of a legend began to develop. The ghosts of Ban Karai. Deadly wraiths waiting in the reaches of the Alakir. I believe it was the locals that had started the tale. A superstition after patrols. It was all nonsense, of course. But as far as we were concerned, anything to shake the Dominion's No one, no matter how skilled at tracking, knows the wastes better than my people. And we used that to our advantage. But we referred to ourselves by our own name. Enough time has passed that the name is now only that. But once the Resistance only had to utter it to make captured spies cave. Huh. We weren't suited to attrition or open warfare. Thousands and thousands. Our strengths lay in quick, ruthless attacks. Give everything we had and move out before any scouts nearby showed. A fireball to scatter mounted soldiers, arrows from an elevated point. Then the rest of us moved in to clear up. The Thalmor showed no mercy, so why would we show them any in return? You understand. Good. Hesitation, empathy. All these things are luxuries. Perhaps things could have gone a different way, but we did what we needed to do. Only nobles in their comfortable manners have the time to debate right and wrong. The rest of us just have to live with it. Yes. Our party was moving around Hammer. Let one village burn so you can help protect another. Simple. One more. We received letters from... We had been ordered to a small village on the border with... Our contact was a bard of all things. A young imperial woman by the name of Of course, but the letter was legitimate, and we weren't exactly in a position to refuse with a war going on. Within a couple of days, we had left the wastes of the Alakir behind us and headed for... Green. When we arrived, calling it a couple of... Next, our illustrious contact was... Most... I don't know why it would... Anyway, despite some... Surprisingly, yes. The letter did turn up something we could use. Diantos told us that a group of emissaries and nobility from Alinor had been However, the force had split off to move into Skyrim, so these nobles were moving to an encampment in southern Cyrodiil. Right into our path. Exactly. Then, well, as... Getting fat off the latest Tan. You can imagine what... All of us knew the... But those... Either way... With no... The group had a... They glanced at Saja out of curiosity. There were... The Dominion relaxed, and I could... Adjust a car... She was... It was going to get bloody. The only question was... Still, we... Clearly they... I kept up... Tadwin was... Until the noble... Tadwin pushed him off of her in disgust, and suddenly... Everyone was on their feet. Go on, then. Off on a new adventure, hmm? No. Even a sleepy village like Riverwood. I'm from a small hamlet on the edge of... But there's too much bad... Of course,